Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the T-50-2. It's a Tier 6 Soviet premium light tank. It's located on the south spawner of Glacier, and it's under the command of Wazwulf. Okay, game on. Well, this little tank has a 57mm gun. I believe that there was only one actually built. It was a prototype which was actually manufactured by the engineers at the tank factory in Leningrad, and it was actually taken out into battle and used by them. 85 Alpha, 118mm of pen with standard AP. With the premium rounds, it actually goes up for 165, and Wazwulf's making straight for the aircraft carrier as fast as he can. Weaving as he's going up because he doesn't want to get shot from behind, and he's made it up there. Good, excellent. So many tanks actually go up the center and obviously end up getting shot in the rear and becoming toast, you might say, or very toasty. Well, he's got a number of tanks he can aim at now, and including the super chaff. He's now going to feel the wrath of the T-50-2. He's probably going to take a few rounds though. Yeah, took a round from an M10 RBFM there. That didn't work out so well. You have to be careful when you pop up on this particular spot, because if you pop up at the wrong moment, you get pretty much splattered. Oh, he got the strobe. He was low enough on hit points that that shell actually finished him off. Oh, one of the enemy RTs just took out our Panzer IV H, the AMX. Oh, but he got a shot into the Panzer the Skoda T25, and a fourth one. Oh, fourth one there. Sorry, three in a row and then fourth. The problem with that firing position as well is if the enemy gets below you, they proximity spot you, even though they're nowhere near you, so to speak. Well, he's been joined by the M10 RBFM. Will take some of the pressure off Wazwulf, but at least he's got one kill now. Okay, now we know that there's an enemy M10 RBFM somewhere down there, and he might be looking at us, but, well, no sixth sense gone off, so I suspect that we're not spotted at the moment, but there are some enemy fairly near. They're just slightly to the north. We just saw the Arty round. No sign of the enemy near the centre. We know the Skoda T25 though is there. I think he's determined to stay into cover until the threat is gone. Yes, the engineers used to take this out at night, fighting it, and then bring it back to the factory during the day and fix it. You wonder what time they actually took to sleep, but I suppose really they were just so desperate to try and break through and get some food into Leningrad as it was then. It's now become St. Petersburg, of course, because of course the siege was so desperate that towards the end they were eating just about anything. Okay, lots of targets in sight now. The M10 RBFM only gets one shot, but the M10 RBFM up here near us actually got the kill shot. Trying to get the T-34. No, that one hit, but ricocheted off. Again, he's also aiming. You need to lead the target. Well, this was a reward tank that actually was getting brought out. It was in the game originally, but it was taken out of the game because it was a bit OP, and they put it back into the game, and it's got a bit of a high centre of gravity as well, which means going around corners you can easily flip the thing over onto its side. But it is fast. It's capable of 65 kilometers an hour, and so long as you take into account the fact that it actually can skid, you can get good results out of it. Oh, M10 RBFM, don't stop, because he will do you severe damage. In fact, the best enemy player on their team is in a T-67 at the moment, and although you can't see it from the results, he's the one that's racking up most of the damage. Okay, the M10 RBFM is now suffering. Oh, we're suffering as well. There goes the M10. But there's an Arty around here. There he is, the MX-13F3. You need to get rid of him quickly. Oh, no, he took it off lot. Just as he fired. We're right behind him now. He's turning to face us. And we're behind him now, so he's not going anywhere, and he's out the game. That one, I think, hit the gun, but there you go, there's the kill. So 3 kills now for Wazwulf. Oh, other Arty's just been spotted. Now, he's actually going to go for the Wizzy131G FT instead of actually going for the Arty. That could be dangerous because an Arty could just drive up behind you, shoot you in the ass. Should never ignore an Arty when you're in close proximity to them because they might take advantage of you. I know I've done it more occasions than I care to mention. Oh, one shot to take out the M41. That's a Pascucci's. And oh, ho, ho! Well, yeah, I suppose 5 out of 5 for style, but 0 out of 5 for the fact that you tracked yourself when you came down. You can't turn just as you're going over elite because it will rip the tracks off on one side. Wizzy131G FT up ahead. There's only 2 enemies left, and one of them is that guy that's really good. And chasing the Wizzy131, who just took out our T-34, but unfortunately he's forgotten about Wazwulf, and he's got a fairly long reload, and the Wizzy is going to die now. Yes, good shot. That's 5 kills, only 1 enemy left, and guess who it is? Yep, it's that T-67, their best player. He's got 2 kills, that guy, but he's racked up a lot of damage. They say he's at the back. Well, we're going to find out very shortly, because if we get close, he's going to start firing at us. And we can only take 2 shots from him before we'll die. Well, no Sixth Sense has gone off. So I think he's moved. He's moved south, I think. Wazwulf decided to cap, to force him to come back. Well, he's got 1/3 of the enemy team and a Pascucci's medal. If that T-67 has gone south and they're now indicating the south of the map, then he might be going after our Arty. And our T-34 and IKV-103 are going to... Oh, it's an IKV-65. They're going to have some difficulty trying to track him down because he's reasonably quick compared to them. And in fact, yes, the T-67 is going after our Arty, and he's just found the Bishop and killed them. So now he's going to try and get to the M44 before we can return. And he did just take a hit, but I think it was from the IKV-65-2 or the T-34-85M. Desperately trying to get back in time to stop him getting any more kills. It's not that we think he might cap out, it's just he could set up an ambush. And with his fast firing 76mm gun, he could do a lot of damage to us. And there he is, 1 shot. Well, he tried on the move. He is going after the M44. And our M44 is fighting. Tried to ram him. We're going to come in and hit him hard. He does get a Pascucci's, but then he dies for a ram. And Wazwulf wins the game. Fires one off for good luck. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the first class tanker for Wazwulf in the T-52. Yes, it takes some effort to get an ace tanker in this vehicle because it's a free one that most people were gifted with after being in the game for enough time. And so yes, if you are really good, then you really do need to get a fantastic result because so many people have this and play this, and it is a bit of an OP like tank. He managed to get a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a 5 for effect for doing more damage to the hit points to his own vehicle, a Pascucci's medal because he took out both enemy Arty, the AMX-13 F3AM and the M41 HMC, and with that final kill on T-67 he managed to get a top gun, so he managed to get 6 kills. Win rate in that game, 6,441, which is quite a bit more than Super Unicum. Was a good result, but in order to get an ace tanker, you really have to excel in this thing and get a very high score, possibly even a Radley's. Let's have a look at team score and see where he was. Well, Wazwulf didn't get the highest damage in the game. That guy, the T-67, yeah, he picked up a Pascucci's and a high caliber and 2,413 hit points of damage. Yes, he was quite deadly. I did say during the game that was their best player. It didn't look like it at the time, but he was extracting a huge number of hits on the enemy. And then at the end of the game, he converted those 2 Arty to kills as well. When it came to kills, it was Wazwulf who did the best. Of course, he got 6 kills, which is more than 1/3 of the enemy. In fact, it's 2/5 of the enemy team. And the next highest scorer was the T-67 with 4 kills, and 3 kills went to their Wizzy 131 GFT, which of course Wazwulf managed to kill. When it came to base XP, it's Wazwulf. Yeah, he's got that one, so he's got 2 out of 3, 1,031. He's the only player to get over 1,000 base. The next highest scorer being the M10 RBFM, who only managed 709, and after that it's the T-67 on the enemy team with 596. Wazwulf fired 34 rounds of 57mm ammunition, the 6-pounder ammunition, quite effective at penetrating enemy tanks. 23 direct hits on the enemy, but only 20 penetrations. A few of those rounds, I think, hit spots where they wouldn't go through, like the tracks. He also did 1,429 hit points, of which 603 were at more than 300 meters. 2 hits received, 1 penetration, 1 non-penetration, and 1 hit by way of splash from the enemy RT. 180 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 4 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 killed, and 475 hit points of spotting assist. He earned 25,439 credits from the game, but he did use a fair bit of premium ammo, and unfortunately that meant that he ended up with a loss of 32,458 credits for the game. He did pick up 25 bonds though, that's useful, and 1,546 XP times 2 for the first victory, 464 for this being a premium vehicle, and 3,557 experience points altogether. Yep, the T-50-2 can be a lot of fun because it's so quick, so OP. That 57mm gun's very effective. Let's have a look at the armor. It's very thin. I mean, literally, it is very, very thin. The toughest armor on this vehicle is at the front of the, well, it's the turret actually, a 52mm turret you can see there, but it's very slab-sided. Around the driver's area, you can see 37mm, but slightly angled, 25mm on that upper plate. The front is a bit slab-sided as well, 37mm, only giving you 44, but it's very, very slightly raked back. It's not really designed to give the crew much protection. This is a light tank. It's supposed to find the enemy and harass them, but it's not designed to take out heavy enemy tanks. It's only really supposed to use that gun to defend itself. The component you can see is quite big, and there's the gunner's sight there. And at the rear of the vehicle, well, we can see the top of the tank is actually 15mm. Again, thin armor because you don't expect enemy vehicles to be shooting down on you. You expect Arty might be firing down on you, but you don't expect the tanks to. And the same side armor all the way along, 37mm right to the back and 37mm around the back there. So probably they were using the same steel plate that they used on the front of the vehicle to repair the rear of the vehicle as well. If we look at the collision model, the live model rather, you can see some of the angles will work on a ricochet, but not all of them. Most of the tank is just penetrable, even with a 57mm gun. In fact, some guns with lower penetration will get through. As you saw, it's only, what, 35 to 50mm thick. So any 37mm or 47mm gun should be able to get through that as well. Now, let's have a look at the modules. Now, this is a bit disappointing because you can see that there's no module map for the T-52. Wargaming never released it. Now, the one thing we can tell is the driver is sitting in the center up front, because that's where the driver's hatch is. We know the gun is on the right hand side as we're looking at it, because there's the gunner's periscope. We know the commander is sitting in the center at the back, because obviously there's his cupola as well. And I believe, I can't remember if this one actually does have a loader, or the gunner, the commander is the loader on this one. I'll have to look that up later, and maybe leave a comment in the text. But there is one thing we can do, is we can look at the T50 instead, because the T50 does exist in the list. There it is. T50 is a tier 5, and if we look at this, it's basically the same body but a slightly different turret. Again, the driver in the center, we've got the gunner on the right hand side, the commander in the cupola at the back, the loader, oh, it does have a loader, on the left hand side of the vehicle, ammo racks in the center. So yes, you should be able to get a penetration if you can get through the armor, right in the center of the vehicle. At the back, we've got the engines sandwiched between two fuel tanks, and the transmission at the rear. It does look to be very much the same, but with a slight difference on the turret, and there looks to be more angling on the armor on this one than there does on the standard on the T-52. And of course, as we know, the T-52 was a prototype, whereas this one was the actual one that was built. So maybe this is probably the correct module map for the T-52 as well. It's just Wargaming never shared it with anyone else to let us know precisely that yes, it is. This is a tank that actually does get overlooked quite a lot by many people. They move on up very quickly up the Soviet lines, but they don't bother with this one because there are so many other tier 5 tanks which are worth playing. But yes, I would consider this one, although it's not a great tank to play as a light tank. It's not as good as some of the other tanks that they do have, like the A40. I definitely prefer those. But yes, you can find a fair bit of enjoyment out of playing this tank when you get good at it. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.